There are 7 characteristics in perfect competition, which is large number of buyers and sellers, homogeneous or identical product, free entry and exit of firms, perfect knowledge of the market, perfect mobility of the factors of production and goods, absence of price control, and absence of transport cost. Now let's look at each meaning of the characteristic. The first condition is large number of buyers and sellers. It means that none of them individually is in position to influence the price and output of the overall industry. Thus, in perfect competition, firms are price takers because individual sales volume is relatively small compared to market volume. Second, all the firms in the perfect competition market will sell identical or homogeneous products. In this market structure, buyers cannot differentiate products in terms of quality, packaging, color, and design. Hence, the firm cannot charge different price for the same products in the market. Third, since there are no restrictions or barriers on the entry of the new firm and the exit of firms, if there is hope of profit, the firm will enter in business, and if there is probability of loss, the firm will leave. Fourth, buyers and sellers must possess complete knowledge about the prices at which goods are being bought and sold. If any seller charges a higher price, the buyer will buy from different sellers because the products are identical with many sellers in the market. This will help in having uniformity in price. Fifth, factors of production can freely move from one occupation to another, from one place to another. There is no barriers on their movement. The existence of perfect mobility of factors of production in a perfect competition will lead to existence of a large number of sellers in the market. 6. Since buyers and sellers do not have significant power to control or fix the price of the products, the price is determined by market forces, which are market demand and market supply. And the last one, there should not be any transport cost between sellers. In a perfect competition, it is assumed that various firms will work closely with each other so that transport costs are not incurred. If two identical products are at two different places, their prices will be different because of transport costs. Therefore, in perfect competition, there is no transport cost. Now, let's look at profit maximization in short run. There are 3 types of profit maximization in short run, which is supernormal profit, normal profit, and subnormal profit. This is supernormal profit, or also known as economic profit. The profit earned when total revenue is greater than total cost. Economic profit is also realized when price is greater than average total cost. As you can see from the picture, the price the firm charges is A, which is 20, and the cost for the product is B, which is 15. Hence, in this situation, the firm is earning supernormal profit as shown by the shaded area ABCD, since average revenue is more than average cost. Next is normal profit, or break-even. The profit is necessary for a firm to stay in business. The normal profit is when total revenue is equal to total cost and when no profit or loss is incurred. As you can see from the picture, the equilibrium output of the firm is M and the price the firm charges is A. That's also the price of the cost, which is A. The firm is earning normal profit since average revenue is equal to average cost. Price is A and average cost is also A. And the last one, subnormal profit or economic losses. The losses incurred because of price is lower than the average total cost or when total revenue is less than total cost. As you can see, the firm is earning subnormal profit or losses as shown by the shaded area ABCD since average cost is more than average revenue. At the price of A, the firm will continue production if the price is higher than the average variable cost. If the price is less than average variable cost, the firm will cease its operation since the losses exceed the fixed cost. However, in the long run equilibrium in perfect competition, the firms will only earn normal profit in the long run due to the effect of free entry and the effect of exit. As we all know, in the short run, when the firms earn supernormal profits, other sellers will be attracted to the industry. As a result, more firms will enter the market hoping to obtain similar profits. This influx of firms will cause an increase in the market supply. The equilibrium market price will fall and the individual firms will lower their price because they are price takers until profit is eliminated. Therefore, firms in the long run can only earn normal profit or zero profit due to free entry. As you can see from the picture, when many firms are attracted to the profit and enter the market supply curve shifts to S1 on the right and the market price drops to 50 ringgit, and the individual firms earn normal profit as the demand curve drops to AR1 or D1 and is equal to the long run average cost curve. And for effect of exit, in the short run, when a firm is losing or experiencing subnormal profit, those sellers who cannot cover their average variable cost or total variable cost will leave the market. As more firms exit the market, this efflux will cause a decrease in the market supply. The equilibrium market price will rise and the individual firm will raise their prices. Therefore, firms in the long run can only earn normal profit due to free exit. As you can see from the picture, as many other firms leave the market supply curve shifts to S2 on the left and the market price increases to 150 ringgit and the individual firm demand curve rises to AR2 or D2. The individual firm realizes a normal profit as the long run average cost curve is equal to AR2. Therefore, the individual firms in a perfect competition will only earn normal profit in the long run due to the effect of exit from the industry. Here are the characteristics of a monopoly market structure. There are 5 of them in total, which is one seller and a large number of buyers, product has no close substitutes, price maker, restriction on the entry of new firms, and advertising. Now let's look at each meaning of the characteristic. A single seller. Monopoly is a form of imperfect market structure because goods and services are provided by single seller or monopolist. A price of good and service is also fully controlled by one seller. Therefore, if the price of good rises up, consumers have no choice and need to pay a higher price in order to get the goods. This is because the monopoly market has full control over the price. Second, product has no close substitutes. It means that there should not be any close substitutes for the product sold by a monopolist. If there are any substitutes, then the monopolist cannot charge a price according to his or her desire, or he or she cannot be the price maker. In other words, a monopoly cannot exist if there is any competition or any substitutes products. For example, is water supply by Jabatan Bekalan Air or Waterworks Department, where are the main water supply, therefore there is no substitution. Third is the price maker. As we all know, in a perfect competition, no single firm can influence the price and this is called a price taker. The monopolist is a price maker since there is only one seller or one producer and he has the power to control the price in the market. Fourth is the restriction on the entry of new firm. Monopoly does not face competition because there is no competitor produce the same product. There are high barriers to enter the monopoly market. The barriers are comprised of various forms such as legal, technology, control over resources, patent and copyright, and licenses. The last characteristics for the monopoly market structure is advertising. Advertising in the monopoly market depends on the product sold. If the products are luxury goods, such as imported cars, then the monopoly needs some advertisement to inform consumers about the goods. Local public utilities such as water, electricity, or home phone services do not need any advertisement from the monopolist since the consumer knows where to obtain all the public utilities. This is the demand curve for monopoly. Since there is only one producer in a monopoly, the demand curve for monopoly market structure is downward sloping. Consumers have always responded to price increases by decreasing the quantities demanded according to the law of demand. When a monopolist sets a price for a product, he will consider the elasticity of demand for the product. The monopolist will fix a higher price if the demand is inelastic and a lower price if the demand is elastic. Now let's look at the profit maximization in short run. There are 3 types of profit maximization in short run. There are supernormal profits, normal profits, and subnormal profits. For supernormal profits, the firm is in equilibrium at point E, where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. The equilibrium output of the firm is M. The price the firm charges is A. In this situation, the firm is earning supernormal profits as shown by the shaded area A, B, C, D, since average cost is below average revenue. For normal profits, it's the same. Point E is the equilibrium point where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. The equilibrium output of the firm is M. The price of the firm charges is A. In this situation, the firm is earning normal profits since average revenue is equal to the average cost. Price is A and the average cost is also A. The last one, subnormal profits. A monopolist is in equilibrium at point E. The equilibrium output of the firm is M, which is the same, but the price the firm charges is A, and the firm is earning subnormal profits or losses, as shown by the shaded area ABCD, since average cost is above the average revenue. In the long run equilibrium, there is only one type of profits, which is the supernormal profits. Long run is the time period in which the firm can adjust its input use in production. In the long run, all the factors of production are variables. Here, as you can see, is the long run equilibrium of a monopolist, where the LRAC and the LRMC curves represent the long run average cost and long run marginal cost. The intersection of the long run average cost and the long run marginal cost curves is the equilibrium point, which is point E. The equilibrium output is M and the price is fixed at A. The firm is earning supernormal profit, ABCD, since AD exceeds long run average cost. The firm will continue to earn supernormal profits in the long run because of the monopoly derived from barriers to entry.
Next is monopolistic competition. There are 5 characteristics of monopolistic competition. The first one is many numbers of sellers. Monopolistic competition have many numbers of sellers. Each firm can control its price output policy to some extent, or is called as price maker, which means firms have little power to set the price. Any price output policy of a firm will not get reaction from other firms. That means each firm follows the independent price policy. The second one is differentiated products. The products are differentiated in terms of packaging or labeling, brand names or benefits of usage, or advertising and much more. Third is free entry and exit of firms. The new firms will enter when the existing firms are making supernormal profits. In the long run, with the entry of new firms, the supply will increase, which will reduce the price. Hence, the existing firms will be left only with normal profits. If the existing firms are sustaining losses, some of the marginal firms will exit, and it will reduce the supply, due to which price would rise and the existing firms will be left only with normal profit. Fourth is advertising cost. Monopolistic competitors need to advertise their products to create awareness among the customers about the existence of the products. And the last one is more elastic demand. Under monopolistic competition, demand curve is more elastic because there are many firms and many substitutions. Demand curve is downward sloping due to product differentiation. Profit maximization of monopolistic competition for short and long run. Monopolistic competitive firm earns supernormal profit when total revenue is more than total cost. The equilibrium will occur where the marginal revenue equal to marginal cost. Monopolistic competitive earns subnormal profit where total revenue less than total cost. In the long run, monopolistic competitive earns normal profit due to free entry and exit.
There are four characteristics in oligopoly. First is few in numbers but large in size. Second, homogeneous or differentiated product. The third, mutual interdependence. And fourth is barriers to entry. Now let's move on to the first characteristic, which is few in numbers but large in size. In an oligopoly, the number of firms is small, but the size of the firm is large. The market share of each firm is large enough to dominate the market. A few firms control the overall industry in an oligopoly. Second characteristic, homogeneous or differentiated product. The products sold in an oligopoly may either be homogeneous or differentiated. For example, in Malaysia, petroleum and automobiles are in oligopoly market where petroleum is homogeneous but cars are differentiated products. Mutual interdependence. The firms in an oligopoly always consider the reaction of their rivals when choosing the price, sales target, advertising budgets, and other business policies. Since the number of firms is small, changes in price or output by one firm can have a direct effect on another firm. And the last one, barriers to entry. In an oligopoly market, there are various barriers to entry. Although similar to a monopoly, the firms in an oligopoly will restrict new entrants into the market. The types of barriers to entry are economies of scale, forces to merge, ownership of patents, and copyrights, to name a few. Profit maximization. Before we talk about the profit maximization, we need to talk about the price rigidity and the king demand curve of oligopoly market structure. The price rigidity explains the behavior of an oligopoly firm, which has no incentive to either increase or decrease the price of its product. The theory of a king demand curve is based on two assumptions. Assumption 1. If an oligopolist reduces the price of his products, his rival will follow and reduce their price too, so as to avoid losing customers. Assumption 2. If an oligopolist increases the price of his products, his rival will not increase their prices but instead maintain the same prices, thereby gaining customers from firms which increase their price. Based on these two assumptions, each oligopoly firm will face a king demand curve. A king demand curve is a kind of demand curve faced by an oligopolist. It assumes that rivals will match a price cut but ignore a price increase. This graph shows the king demand curve of an oligopoly. Demand is elastic above the king, where an increase in the price to more than P1 will lead to a large drop in quantity as more customers switch to the rival's lower price product. Demand is inelastic below the king, where the decreasing in the price will only reflect a small increase in quantity since all other firms have reduced their price below P1 and customers do not switch product. Since the oligopoly firms face a king demand curve, the firm has no incentive to increase or decrease its price. This will explain its price rigidity. The king demand curve shows the characteristic of mutual interdependence among oligopoly firms. The king demand curve creates a gap in the marginal revenue curve which lies above Q1. The gap in the marginal revenue lies below the king, as shown in the graph. The equilibrium occurs when the marginal cost intersect with the marginal revenue at the king point. Calculating profit. Using the rule of marginal revenue equal marginal cost, if the marginal costs intersect in the gap, then you can take the price on the king, as shown in the graph, which is 50. Total revenue is calculated by multiplying price and quantity, making the total revenue 2000. Then, calculate the total cost using average cost, which is 17 multiplied by the quantity, making the total cost 680. Profit will be counted by substitute total cost from total revenue, making the profit 1820. That's the end of our group presentation. Hope we will meet again in another time. Bye bye.